Qantas is about to wake up its last sleeping giant, literally. Its 10th and final Airbus A380 has been sitting idle for almost 6 years. Qantas is just another airline that has been experiencing steady growth in travel and, to make matters worse, a potential crisis in the aerospace industry. But why bring back a fuel-guzzling super jumbo that many airlines considered obsolete? Well, the answer reveals something surprising about the current state of global aviation. But before we dive in, I want to ask you to consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell to help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers. The announcement came quietly, but its implications are anything but small. Qantas is preparing to reactivate its last stored A380, completing the return of its entire super jumbo fleet to active service. For context, this is an aircraft that most of the industry had declared dead just a few years ago. But here's where it gets interesting. This isn't just about one airline dusting off an old plane. What we're witnessing is a symptom of a much larger crisis in commercial aviation, one that's forcing carriers worldwide to make uncomfortable compromises. Let's break down what's really happening. First, demand. Qantas has reported exceptionally strong appetite for international travel, particularly on long-haul routes. The airline is adding a significant number of international seats to its network, and a substantial portion of that availability comes from these returning A380s. Travelers want to fly, and they want to fly now. However, and this is crucial, the aviation industry is facing a bottleneck. Boeing and Airbus, the two giants of aircraft manufacturing, are both experiencing significant delivery delays. New planes that should be entering service are sitting in factories awaiting parts, certifications, or fixes. For Qantas specifically, its order of ultra-modern Airbus A350-1000s has been delayed due to required fuel tank redesigns. So here's the dilemma. You have sky-high demand, but the new, fuel-efficient aircraft you ordered aren't arriving on schedule. What do? Enter the A380 revival. These super jumbos were discarded during the pandemic. Airlines parked them in deserts, and industry analysts declared them relics of a bygone era. Too big, too thirsty, too expensive to operate in a world pivoting towards smaller, more efficient twin-engine jets. But necessity, as they say, changes everything. Qantas had the foresight to store, not scrap, its A380 fleet. And now that decision looks remarkably strategic. The airline can reactivate these aircraft in approximately 3 to 6 months, a fraction of the time it would take to wait for delayed new deliveries. Now, let's be clear. The A380 didn't suddenly become fuel efficient. It's still a 4-engine behemoth that consumes more fuel per flight than modern alternatives. But here's the calculation airlines are making. From a financial perspective, these aircraft have already been fully depreciated. The massive capital costs have been written down. So while operating expenses remain high, the barrier to entry, financially speaking, is much lower than purchasing or leasing new aircraft that may not even be available. Moreover, on high-density routes with slot restrictions, think London Heathrow, Sydney, Singapore. The A380's massive capacity becomes an asset, not a liability. One A380 can carry what might require 2 or even 3 smaller wide-bodies. And when airport slots are limited and precious, that capacity concentration matters. But there's a catch. Qantas has faced challenges reactivating its entire fleet quickly due to constraints in maintenance, repair, and overhaul facilities known as MROs in the industry. Bringing a stored aircraft back to airworthiness isn't simple. It requires extensive checks, part replacements, and certifications. The global MRO network is stretched thin, another casualty of the pandemic's disruptions that still reverberates today. Yet despite these challenges, Qantas is pushing forward. Why? Because the alternative is worse, leaving capacity on the table while competitors fill the void. This A380 comeback isn't isolated to Qantas either. We're seeing similar movements at British Airways, Qatar, Lufthansa, and other carriers that kept their super jumbos grounded. For Qantas, bringing back that 10th A380 isn't just about filling seats. It's about maintaining competitiveness, capturing premium revenue on strategic long-haul routes, and ensuring they don't lose market share while waiting for their shiny new A350s to arrive. The age of the Super Jumbo was supposed to be over, but as we're learning, reports of its death may have been greatly exaggerated. So here's my question for you. Is this A380 revival a smart short-term strategy, or are we watching airlines repeat old mistakes? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this analysis insightful, give us a thumbs up and share it with fellow aviation enthusiasts. Thanks for watching Plain News. I'll see you in the next one.